Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills Planning Board, Monday, June 1st, 2026 at 7:30 PM.
Roll.
All right, so for the announcement is that we're having an advocate notice of this meeting has been given, and that is being conducted in accordance with NJSA 10:4-6, established in sequence of State of New Jersey, an Open Public Meetings Act. Please can I have a roll call?
Mr. Didich?
Here.
Mr. Dinsmore?
Here.
Mayor Desai?
Here.
Councilwoman Hernandez? Here. Mr. Patel?
Here.
Mr. Shaw?
Here.
Ms. Smith? Here. The Cyber Board Planner, Mr. Ryerson?
Here.
Board Engineer, Ms. Knust? Here. And our Board Attorney, Mr. Wenzel.
Here. Right. All right, we're gonna do a pledge of allegiance, please. Everybody rise. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this meeting is open to the general public.
Mr. Vice Chair, we have a resolution on tonight. It was approved at the April 20th meeting for application number 26:502, Toll NJ1 LLC, 4 Gatehole Drive, Block 175, Lot 52. All board members, I believe, should have received a copy of that resolution, and Nora always has her cheat sheet.
Those who can vote are Didich, Desai, Dinsmore, Patel, Shaw, and, well, Von Aiken's not here. Can I have a motion?
So moved, Dinsmore.
Second?
Second.
Didich,
Yes.
Desai,
Yes.
Dinsmore,
Yes.
Patel,
Yes?
Shaw,
Yes.
and that is it. It's approved.
Okay, motion passes. We'll let the applicant for Toll NJ know that. Mr. Vice Chair, the next matter on the agenda is application 26:503, Rutgers Builders LLC, Rutgers Lane, Block 767, Lot 7.3. Only a major soil moving permit, which was carried from May 18th, 2026. I know we have Mr. O'Neill here tonight.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, and just for the record, this matter was notice had been previously provided. Matter had to be carried, in abundance of caution. Mr. O'Neill's office, provided notice again, and, we're back here again. So the board has jurisdiction, and through you, Vice Chair, I think Mr. O'Neill is, gonna present tonight.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Joseph O'Neill of Garofalo O'Neill Material here on behalf of the applicant. This is a glamorous major soil moving permit consisting of a grand total of 304 cubic yards, only 145 cubic yards of which is going off-site. We've provided to you a copy of our application. You have an illustration for what's going on the site in front of you.
Could you please
with
pull the microphone
calculation.
closer?
I'm sorry. You should have an illustration in front of you with how the site's going to be taken care of, half fill, half cut, basically. And as I said, only about 10 trucks coming to the site, actually, from the highway. They seem to think I was able to handle it without my engineer, so I'm going to have to rely on the exhibits. If anyone has any questions, I'll endeavor to answer them, but it seems pretty straightforward. I've accepted the engineer's report in total.
And Mr. O'Neill, with regard to the trucks going on and off-site, they will comply with the township code with regard to the time of operation and the locations they're gonna move through, correct?
That's not a problem.
Okay. And they'll try to stay on the major, highways and roadways,
Well,
correct?
280's right there, so no problem.
Sounds like it won't be a problem.
Any questions on the board?
Take a motion to accept.
All right, we'll take the motion to accept.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. I apologize. Motion to approve.
I apologize.
So moved, Dinsmore.
Second, Dedich.
Desai,
Yes.
Dedich,
Yes.
Dinsmore,
Yes.
Hernandez. Yes. Patel,
Here?
Shaw,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
motion
you.
passes. Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Always good seeing you.
Good seeing you, Joe.
Thank you.
Okay, the next matter up, Vice Chair, is application 25:521, Brixmore 30881, Route 46, Block 1, Block 411, Lot 31.1, Zone B1, preliminary and major final site plan for parking improvements, landscaped islands, and interior changes. I know Mr. Wolfson is here to present on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Wenzel. Board Chair, board members, board professionals, Peter Wolfson, the law firm of Parsippany, here on behalf of the applicant. May I be
Yes,
seated?
please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just make sure you're close to the mic. So, we are here regarding property located at 3025 to 3189 US Route 46, designated as Block 411, Lot 31.1 on the Township Tax Map. The property is also known as the Morris Hills Shopping Center. It contains approximately 18.4 acres and is located in the AHD-MU2 Affordable Housing Mixed Use Zone District. The property is fully developed with an existing shopping center, a shuttered movie theater, and associated site improvements. The applicant is seeking preliminary and final major site plan, major soil moving permit, and bulk variance approval in connection with the applicant's re-tenanting, redemising, and refreshing portions of the existing buildings, along with improvement of the existing parking lot with restriping and landscaped islands. A minor portion of the proposed parking lot improvements extend onto and include a portion of adjacent Block 411, Lot 30, which is occupied by a McDonald's restaurant. We have consent from McDonald's to make these very minor improvements. No new square footage of building is proposed as part of the application. Specifically, this application anticipates 5 new tenants, a signed-up grocer, a potential retailer, and 3 potential restaurants, which are anticipated to be fast casual type restaurants. The identity of the grocer tenant is, for now, confidential. That tenant is a well-known upscale grocer whose decision to come to the property is a driver of the subject application. Our client is excited by the arrival of this upscale grocer and believes that Parsippany will be as well. We seek only 2 minor variances in connection with the application to permit a maximum impervious coverage of 82.22%, but we are reducing from the current coverage of 84.18. The maximum under the recently adopted rezoning is 75%. Prior to that, it was 80%, but again, we are reducing the impervious coverage. The other variance that goes with this application is a driveway setback variance at a particular location, and you'll hear more about those 2 variances from our 2 witnesses. For the record, the application was filed on December 18, 2025, with a follow-up submission on March 13, 2026. The applicant provided notice of this hearing in accordance with all legal requirements. For completeness of the record, the following review letters were received by the applicant as part of this application. Number 1 was a memorandum from your environmental engineering aide of the Township Water Department dated January 26th of this year. No comments or objections. The second was a memorandum from Assistant Superintendent of the Township Sewer Utility dated January 29 of this year. No comments because there's no effect on the sanitary sewer. Number 3, excuse me, completeness review letter 1 from your planner, Mr. Reinertsen, dated January 30, 2026. Number 4, completeness review letter number 2 from Mr. Reinertsen and your engineer, Ms. Nust, dated April 21, 2026. A review of the major soil moving permit from Justin Lizzo, the municipal engineer, dated May 28 of this year. No objection. And finally, a technical review letter number 1 from your planner and engineer, dated May 29, 2026. The applicant is able to agree to comply with the comments contained in that technical review letter of May 29, 2026. On a few of the review comments, our witnesses will explain or clarify through testimony this evening. I intend to present testimony from our project engineer, Brian Conlon, and our architect, Dustin Watson. Available to answer any questions are our traffic engineer / professional planner, Matthew Welch, and there is a representative from Brixmor, the applicant, Mark Newman, with us as well. If there are no questions of me, I'd like to call my first witness. Okay.
Okay.
Brian?
Okay, Ms. Wilson, who are you calling now?
Brian Conlon, our project engineer.
And if you could pull the microphones closer, that'd be great.
All right, Mr. Conlon, do you swear affirm and tell the truth for this planning board tonight?
I do.
Mr. Conlon, can you please do us the favor of stating and spelling your name for the record?
Yes, it's Brian, B-R-I-A-N, and the last name is Conlon, C-O-N-L-O-N.
Okay. And Mr. Conlon, why don't we get his qualifications on
Sure.
briefly?
Sure. Can you please share with us your professional, educational, and licensure background?
Yes, and good evening, everyone. Brian Conlon, I've been with Langen Engineering and Environmental Services, not in our Parsippany office, but I am out of our Philadelphia office. But I've been with Langen, just turned 28 years in May. I have a Bachelor of Civil Engineering degree from Villanova University. I'm currently licensed in New Jersey, and my license is active as well as many other states. I have been before, I forget if it was zoning or planning board, but I have been before you folks before for this shopping center back in, I think, 2019, and many other jurisdictions throughout the state of New Jersey.
And you haven't forgotten anything since then?
We'll see.
We'd ask that he be accepted as an expert in the area of civil engineering.
Vice Chair, through you, Mr. Conlon has established his educational background as well as his professional credentials, and most importantly, his license to practice in the field of engineering in the state of New Jersey is current and up to date. I would be asked that the board accept him as an expert.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian, can you first lead us through the existing conditions and then show what the proposal is?
Yes.
You're going to be referring to some mounted boards?
Yes, this is the only exhibit I have that is not in your packet.
Okay.
So for reference, this is entitled Morris Hills redevelopment. The plan is called this plan is in your packet.
Mr. Conlon, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Number one is that, okay, we're going to mark that, Ms. Wilson will mark that as Exhibit A1, and I'm going to ask Mr. Conlon to do a Sinatra routine and bring the mic with him, so that when he's standing over there, we can get him clearly on the mic. Correct? Correct, Nora?
Yeah.
And I was mistaken, this actually is in our packet.
Oh.
Sheet 3, it's the one that is a site aerial, so I apologize for that. And this, again, I know everyone's familiar with the project right across the street. You can see out the window here. But just for context that I'm going to talk about tonight, the main building here where our proposed grocer is going, the theater, which is kind of in the back corner of the site, which is really not subject to the application at all, but just for context. The Sawtooth building, which is a kind of we call it a sawtooth because of the irregular shape of the building, which is kind of in the center of the site, very close to the McDonald's. And then there is the Bank of America pad that's on the property again, but we're not doing any modifications to the Bank of America. And again, as Peter indicated, we're right at the corner of 46 and 202, and we're standing right here right now. And then I am going to go to our proposed site plan. This also is in the packet of our drawings, site construction plan, drawing CS 101. Last revised March 12th of 2026, and this shows our proposed improvements for the site. As indicated, there's no new square footage, but we are re-demising and re-tenanting, if you will, some of the existing buildings on the site. The first one, the main strip building, if you will, where we're proposing to the left, where the Habit Burger used to be on the left side here, we're proposing a proposed grocer that is 13,270 square feet. And the balance of that existing building that's today, almost half it'll be the grocer, and then the remainder of that building is about 9,295 square feet. So that building pad that's there today, they'll be re-demising internally to create those two new spaces. With the grocer, there will be a new loading dock in the rear, and a new trash compactor as part of that, but again, the existing shell to the building is basically remaining. The other, we're proposing 3 restaurant tenants, again, that are in existing spaces at the shopping center today. One we're calling out as a 2,400 square foot, known as Restaurant C, basically pretty dead center of the existing main building. Then in the Sawtooth building, as I mentioned, we're proposing 2 restaurants, what we're calling Restaurant A, which is 2,250 square feet, and Restaurant B, which is 3,000 square feet. They're the modifications of the proposed tenants for the site that we're proposing. And that's it from a building standpoint. The rest of the site is basically, we think we're making it much nicer, greener, friendlier, more pedestrian accessible. And in doing that, we're providing all new striping, all new landscape islands at the end of the parking bays. We're providing internal sidewalks, internal planters. Along the main building where the grocer's going, we're redoing the entire sidewalk there with brick pavers, landscaping, new accessible ramps. Similarly for that Sawtooth building, again, the whole frontage of that, and we'll have new sidewalk, whether it's pavers, planter islands, and things of the like. And then, you know, a little gathering space, if you will, at the corner here, which is now just a big area of concrete. Again, we're sprucing that up with green, textured amenities and things of that nature. We're also adding for this new Sawtooth building a dedicated trash enclosure dumpster. Again, the dumpsters out there today are not contained in any kind of enclosure, so we think we're improving that. And that's basically the extent of the plan. Again, it's mainly to this area. You don't see here, again, I mentioned the theater, that's off the page. We're not touching anything with that part of the project. And again, the overall site, I think, Peter mentioned, is 18.4 acres. So with these improvements, again, because there's no real new construction besides these new islands and things like that, we're only disturbing about 1.6 acres of ground, and that's basically to remove any existing islands and place the new islands and things like that. Very minimal grading, very minimal drainage, a couple drainage pipes, no new utility services or things like that because they're already there for these buildings. You know, we're coordinating with utilities that might upsize the services and things like that. And I should mention a new transformer, I think, for the grocer as well, from the utility standpoint. But that's really the extent of the project. We're also, you know, I mentioned with the new islands, of course, new landscaping throughout. Dustin can elaborate on this, our architect, but I just did some counts, you know, 57 new trees, over 1,500 shrubs, and 1,700 plus different types of ground cover. And then we're redoing all the entire lighting for the project as well for the shopping center with new updated lights. That's really it from the layout. I don't think I'm missing anything. And with that, I'll kick it back to Peter. Here, any questions on that before?
I have no questions of Brian.
All right, any questions from the board members?
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
The sawtooth roof line, when it overlooks the green space that you want to put down, is it a straight visual or there's going to be an awning on top, on the sawtooth perimeter? If you want, I can explain.
And I'm going to have to probably kick that to the architect to answer.
Wait, Mayor, just, why don't you have him, it's this executive power he has. Mayor, why don't you...
You want to bring it up?
Why don't we have Brian stand up there, right? So Mayor, why don't you point out to Brian where you want him to look?
Okay, so put your finger at the green space,
Yeah.
right there. And the sawtooth roof line, okay? If I'm standing on the top of the sawtooth roof line,
Uh-huh.
right? When I look down on the green space, is there an awning above the green space or?
There is a trellis.
Well, wait,
I was going to say, that's
we'll answer that question when he comes up.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll write it down.
He has
so we don't waste it.
the better answer than me.
Okay. But I'm sure the architect will make,
Yes.
the architect will make note of that.
I have as well.
And if he hasn't, he should. I know Mr. Wolfson has.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Actually, I will add again, just as I'm looking at my notes here. So in addition to the layout, just some of the numbers, the existing site today has 975 parking spaces at the site with all these improvements. And we are adding green. I'd love to emphasize that. We're actually adding a few more parking spaces. So we're going from an existing of 975 and the proposed is 991 spaces. And that's throughout the entire shopping center property. And the impervious coverage, again, Peter did mention it, but to reiterate those numbers, the existing site is 84.18% impervious coverage, and the proposed is being reduced to 82.2% impervious coverage, which is a good a little over 15,000 square feet of more green at the end of the day of this proposed project.
And you've done an analysis of the parking under the new ordinance, and we meet that?
That's correct, yes. There were some comments and some clarifications in the board planner's professional letter that will address all those comments, but we do meet the parking requirements.
Any other questions from the board members?
Yeah, just one more.
Please.
Are the parking spaces with increase or decrease?
Increased by, what did I say? 16 spaces, from 975 total to 991.
I know, I'm talking about the actual parking space itself, the
size
white
of the
line.
Oh, the size? Oh, no, they're out there today. They're all 9 by 18 existing, and we're proposed 9 by, so same size parking
Same size,
spaces.
okay.
I will say, the existing drive aisles that are out on the site today are a lot bigger than 24, which is standard. There's some that are up to 27, 30 feet. So in our redoing and making it more efficient, that's where we gain some of our benefit to adding the parking and adding the green.
Any questions?
I do, unless it's for the architect, on the trees and stuff, are they within the parking area in the islands?
Yes, and we'll go through the landscaping plan we have in the packet, but yes, they're pretty much all through the new islands throughout the parking lot.
Are the number of parking spaces that you've got there shown on that, or does it include the area by the theater?
Yes, all the numbers are for the overall site, including the movie theater.
Will
correct.
there be 975 when they put in the apartment complex?
That's not part of this application. I can't answer that.
understand that, but to ignore it is not in my constitution.
So we understand the question. We are working collaboratively with the municipality on a redevelopment plan.
Can you
that will.
speak louder?
Usually I'm not asked to speak loud. We're working collaboratively on a redevelopment plan that will govern the entire site, and that will, we know now that the anticipated apartment building, which is part of your fourth round affordable plan, that combination of that and this plan that you see for the commercial portion, we will have more than enough parking.
That's really what I'm getting at. If you make an assumption that that entire theater area goes away as parking for this,
Yes,
you meet the standards for the town. That's all I'm really at.
the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Any questions from the board professionals?
Yes. So I had a question about why there's 904 parking spaces required, but you're proposing 991. It's unusual to see an applicant so overparked, but it sounds like this is planning for the future, perhaps?
It's existing tenant leases, the new tenants leases, and absolutely what we just discussed for the future development that we know is coming one day.
You discussed re-tenanting several of the existing bays. Are they empty now, or?
All of the proposed are empty now. Yes, the tenants I mentioned are all empty spaces now. Yes, correct. I will say though, there also is like a temporary space in there, or excuse me, someone's in there temporarily, tenant, but the majority of the spaces for long-term leases are vacant for the new tenants.
Okay.
Eric? You're next.
Mr. Chairman,
Can I just-
quick question.
Oh,
you go
can I
ahead.
just one clarification about the parking. Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay. Had a chance to speak with the engineer prior to this, and I also had it clarified by the zoning officer how parking is calculated. And so this was approved originally way back when as a shopping center. Once it's approved as a shopping center, anytime there's a change in tenancy, in fact, there is in the ordinance, anytime there's a change in tenancy, you have to come back, because the parking at that point is calculated by use. And I would just confirm that the applicant did calculate it by use. It's in our review letter. Those comments here have been clarified, so we can deal with that once we go over the letter in the end, if there's anything, you've agreed to everything, but I think what we're going to do is just say, you just make sure I'll clarify with Lyra that everything that we asked for testimony has been satisfied, and I'll defer to her on the engineering side on that. Thank
Yes,
you.
and thank you, Ron, for his assistance with that.
I have quick questions. Out of 991 parking spaces, are there any EV parking spaces, any proposal of that kind?
There are no EV spaces proposed.
Yeah, and just for clarity, since when you restripe parking lots, it's not required. It's any new physical, so say hypothetically, the movie theater was bulldozed, I'm just saying that, and you added parking, that may trigger it, but that's not part of this application. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm just giving you a hypothetical.
Got it, yep, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any additional questions?
So, back to Peter. Mr. Wolfson?
I don't know if there's anybody in the
Well,
public.
we ask if any members of the public wish to ask questions.
Any questions from the public or member of the public?
See none, throw it back to
Okay.
Mr. Wolfson.
All right,
Call
back to you.
Dustin Watson, our architect.
Thank you, everyone.
No problem.
Thanks, Brian.
Do you swear affirm, tell truth for this planning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, can you do us a favor of please stating and spelling your name for the record?
Dustin Watson, Dustin Watson.
Okay, and Mr. Watson, why don't we get your qualifications on briefly?
Yeah, Dustin, can you share with us your educational, professional, and licensure?
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in architecture and an MBA with a focus on green development. And I am licensed, I'm going to say 7 states, 6 or 7 states, and a province in Canada, and I'm licensed here in New Jersey as well.
Where'd you go to school?
University of Tennessee.
Go Vols.
Go Vols.
Everybody's got to go somewhere.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we'd ask that he be accepted as an expert in the area of architecture.
Yes.
You can, Mr. Wolfson, you can proceed.
Thank you. So Dustin, in connection with the application submission, we provided some of your work. I understand you want to lead us through that?
Yes, I'll start. We did the landscape design let's go through the landscape design first.
Okay, so that was part of the submission?
Yes.
Okay, so just give us the title of the document.
So this is the overall landscape plan. As Brian had mentioned, we had restriped and kind of made the parking a lot more efficient and added as much green space as we could.
What's the plan called, Dustin?
The overall landscape plan.
Date?
Overall landscape plan.
Date?
Oh, date. Sorry. This was 10/31/2025.
Thank you.
And I'll just start on this side. Currently, this is all paved area up to the building. Our plan is to take this out and then add new planting, trees, shade trees, and, ground covers all along the back of this building. As Brian mentioned, we're adding to this sidewalk along the front of the building to add pavers as well as planting zones throughout. We're adding new shade trees throughout. And I know there was a comment about the Acer red maples being more columnar. We're only proposing those at that central portion to provide kind of an access through the property. The rest of the trees are hornbeams or honey locust. We're adding, so we created this kind of spine, pedestrian spine, to help break up the mass of the parking lot. The only other thing that in the comments that I wanted to address was this, adding some more shade trees. There's existing trees currently in that location, and I know we are not showing, that was one of the comments. We didn't show the existing trees, but we don't necessarily have an issue with that. We're gonna try to figure out where we can place some additional trees. This being retail, we want to try to minimize some of the larger shade trees if we can, so that there are view corridors into the site. It really does make a difference in these retail environments.
So, excuse me, in terms of working with the board's professionals on some more shade trees, you're talking about Parsippany Boulevard?
Yes, Parsippany Boulevard,
Okay.
yep. This area currently is a large, concrete zone. We're proposing to add some planters. We have actually some little bench areas with lots of planting and a couple of corners, kind of rest stops throughout the site. And this is planned to be kind of more artificial turf and not necessarily lawn, because we want this to be an event space where you could have, a festival, or you could have some outdoor dining along this area. We're proposing a shade structure that's a trellis with some potential amenities, maybe a swing, some things like that within this zone. There was some comments about increasing the size of these planters, and we feel that's a great idea too. I love more planting, so we're going to look at that, which will increase the impervious areas as well.
Dustin,
Decrease, sorry.
the shade trellis, is that in lieu of a awning? I think the mayor asked for that.
Yeah, the issue with awnings here is we have some very awkward angles. This is a very difficult building for a retailer, especially not being able to see the front of many of the storefronts. So this trellis will act as kind of that zone will be part of kind of how this building is signed for the tenants, but we also, we're going to have outdoor seating for those restaurants along this building. We'd rather not have a bunch of awnings that kind of obscure the facade as any more than it is. Our goal eventually is to have as much storefront as we can as well within those spaces.
Thank you.
And yeah, this is kind of an enlarged plan of that area, so you can see we have
Was this submitted with the application?
Yes.
And just give us.
Enlarged plan, L 2.0, and that was in 10/31/2025. We are proposing, many more trees than what is currently on the site, as well as a variety of planting shrubs, and ground covers to kind of enhance as much of the ground plan as we can.
Dustin, you heard Brian recite some numbers for shrubs and trees. You agree with those numbers?
I do. What's that? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have the, okay. In the packet, L 3.0 has a schedule, and it shows the quantities that we're proposing. I know there was a comment as well as about the honey locust. It was in the schedule, but there's a zero quantity. It's not really on the plan. For some reason, it showed up in the plan. And with that, I could go to architecture, or if you have questions about the landscape.
Keep going.
Okay.
Architecture.
Okay. Start with this. So
Okay, this was not submitted.
yes, these renderings were not submitted currently, or we just completed these. So this is part of the grocer.
What is this titled on?
Street view.
The date?
The date is May 29th, 2026.
Okay. Why don't you just flip it around for now, so I can mark it.
Okay.
3, and then you can flip it back and prove it. So this is B3. And this is entitled?
Street view as well, May 29th.
Okay.
Yep, 20.
As you go through it, you'll describe them enough so that
Yeah.
you can distinguish them.
Yeah, so we're showing in this view the tenant that we have, leased and ready to go, and we've worked with them. It's a national tenant. We work with them to get the facade where they're happy and we're happy. The idea is we're going to keep some of the roof line, but we're going to change the roof, brand new roof, because it's kind of aged and needs to be changed out. But we need to create some new kind of pop-ups to reflect where those tenants are located in the space. This, if you remember in the plan, it's that larger big box tenant, it's going to be broken into two tenants. So the grocer and then an adjacent tenant beside it. We're proposing to remove the current, old concrete column covers and replace that with a kind of cultured stone. This is a fiber cement board siding and replacing on the underside of the canopy is currently, old white metal, something, ceiling, and we're proposing a wood look. It's going to be metal, but it'll have a wood color, which is warmer. We're going to add all new lighting underneath and new sconce lights on these buildings. Yeah, so that, this
So
is.
that was A3. So now you're gonna go back to A2 for a different angle.
Yeah, this is just the opposite side, the opposite corner of that building. So this would be the grocer. We're adding as much new storefront as we can, and proposing cultured stone on the backside up to a certain height because of the carts. And you'll see new planting along the front. So this is kind of the look that we'll be developing and working through, hopefully the rest of the facade, because that's part of kind of future development. Questions?
All right, at this time, any questions for the board members?
I have a question. Can you clarify on the plan, it talks about Restaurant A and Restaurant B having 75 outdoor seats? That's in the parking summary. Where are the 75 outdoor seats?
Yeah.
I'm guessing in that, under that trellis area. I just want to
Yeah,
clarify.
let me see your slide. Actually, let's get one. So those seats would be in this area along the front of these spaces.
75?
Yep. It's a very, very large space, that whole corner. No, it's not on that one either. Yeah, so along the front of wherever we have a restaurant, we're planning on having outdoor seating right out front.
So that hatched area that's in that top corner, that, I thought maybe that was the seating. That little
Here?
piece in front of tenant A is like a triangle.
The triangle.
Going
This,
there.
no, that's an outdoor, that's lawn, or
Oh,
like an
that's-
artificial, turf.
Got it.
Yep.
All the seating's on the ground floor,
Yes,
not on the, roof?
no rooftop,
Okay.
no.
Thank you.
Any other board member questions?
Are there any proposed improvements to the facade of the Sawtooth building?
We're working with tenants right now to hopefully get that in process, but there's nothing at this time. It's in
Nothing as
development.
part of this application right now?
Right.
Well, I will say in preparing for tonight, to the extent that the needs of future tenants become defined, that will drive certain features of the facade. But the intention is that that facade will be consistent with the style that you're looking at.
Yes, so the idea is that we'll follow this through on that building, the Sawtooth building as well. That's look.
You mentioned using the columnar maple trees in the middle of the parking lot, and I love the amount of landscaping you've added to this large asphalt area. Is there a reason why you don't want more shade in this big heat island? So, more trees, definitely great. I'm just concerned along that middle section, we'd like to see more shade. It's a lot of parking area.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily have a problem getting a few more trees. The issue is we're working with a retail property, and it's, getting tenants to agree on that is sometimes more difficult, but we're only showing the columnars in here. These are all the shade trees. Now, I think we could get a couple in here as well, as part of that.
Thank you.
Any,
Yeah, but I had a question. Can you go back to CS 101?
That's on the other side.
It looks like Restaurant A, Restaurant B overlooks, the trestle down onto the ground floor. Like if I'm standing at top of the roof, when I look down, is it possible, only because the ground floor and the green space that you're gonna create with the AstroTurf, it looks like a community gathering area, potentially, that maybe on top of the roof, you could have some benches, green space, or not green space, AstroTurf with benches, like a community gathering place that people can, because you have restaurants underneath, that they can go, maybe people upstairs can look down and make it like a welcoming community area.
The problem is this building, I forget what year it was built. I can't remember the exact year, but we don't have the live load capabilities for having any kind of rooftop.
Okay, all right.
I'd like to. I'd love to see that, but there would
That's
be.
what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is the ground floor.
Yeah.
You're overlooking because you already
It's
have.
just, these buildings were designed, when they're engineered, they design them just to where they need to be, to make it, so it's all, there's not enough live load and the additional dead load that we would have in terms of pavers or whatever to protect the roof that it's on. So it wouldn't be possible without a major reconstruction.
Okay. I just look at enhance that area.
Yeah.
Besides just being at the ground level, something at an upper level.
Yeah. I think this space, once all the restaurants and the outdoor seating, it's going to feel so lively. You're going to want people to be there in the mix rather than overlooking,
so are you doing any structural change to that current building? Meaning, are you adding any additional support to, last longer than current?
Well, it'll last, as long as we keep the roof fixed up, and it's gonna last as long as we need. We just can't put people on it. Well, a lot of people.
Okay.
Structurally, there's no need to do any structural improvements at this time. I mean, it's a well-built building. It's just not, it wasn't designed for live loads for a lot of people.
Yep. All right, thank you.
You mentioned the trust will have like activity space, like swings or.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so what we want to try to do is create, so there'll be a zone that is kind of that dining zone, and then we want this to really be a community space. So there will be additional chairs, tables that aren't part of the restaurants themselves, but the idea is to create some other locations where we can have activities for people to, like a swing. We haven't gotten into the details yet. We know that.
Potential there for some kind of recreational.
Yes,
amenities.
definitely. And because we want, when the, future, if the residential, when it comes or whatever, that there's a place for people and the people in the community just to come and experience this place.
Okay.
So on that note, what if your retail tenant has conflict with the community, in that area? How would you handle that situation?
Well, what do you mean, like?
The retail tenants
Yeah.
mix with the community.
Well, it's going to be.
With their guests sitting on that porch, and you have to
Brixmor has rules and regulations for their properties, and they're going to follow, if they're not following the rules and regulations, they're not going to be able to do anything. The lease outlines that the tenant also has to follow their rules and regulations. So I'm not the, I wouldn't be able to do anything, but I'm sure Brixmor would.
You're the guy who makes it look pretty, right?
Yeah.
Right, so normally, right, so normally with shopping centers and, multi-use enterprises like this, there's a series of rules and regulations. I'm preaching to the choir for the gentleman in the audience. But obviously, amongst those rules and regulations, especially when you're dealing with anything that starts with outdoor dining, where there's potential mixture, you're going to have some understanding between those tenants as to who's responsible for what area, and also for policing of the area, maintaining the area, which I'm sure will eventually be part of a developer's agreement.
should there come one in the future.
Yeah, and
Right, Mr. Wolfson?
It certainly could.
Yeah.
Sure.
I knew you would agree with me. He was nodding his head, so I figured he would.
Restaurant A and B will have outdoor seatings. What about restaurant C? Or that's being closed completely?
It's under the colonnade, so it's a little bit more difficult in that area. We just don't have a lot of room under. That's one of the reasons we pulled the sidewalk out a little bit, not only to create a nice zone out front, is that it's very tight in there.
Okay, no problem.
All right, any additional questions from the board?
Thank you.
Questions?
Thank you.
Any additional question from Board of Professionals?
The only thing, this is more, I'm leading the witness here. The trellis, you said that does it kind of almost give a squared off look here because you've got that unusual roof line, kind of almost, you're putting it in there, it's going to be more, it'll help with the visual interest?
Oh, yeah, it's gonna have like a full trellis, that's gonna provide shade, but it's gonna look, nice, like it's a part of the building itself almost.
So, I mean, it's a physical challenge, as you said, the way this is kind of, the sawtooth here, and then that maybe that visual element kind of gives a more regularity, you're looking at it, it makes sense.
Yes, the idea is that it's gonna tie the whole space together a little bit better now. When you have a re-entrant corner in retail, it makes it very difficult. So we're trying to help sell the space by creating this component.
Okay, it was a leading question, yeah, I know, but I just wanted to clarify, it's just not put up there willy-nilly, I mean, it's actually going to,
It's gonna serve a
improve-
purpose.
The intent is to improve the aesthetic
Yes.
in that corner.
Yep.
So,
Chairman, can I ask?
Sure.
Are there plantings on that trellis? Or it's just the trellis without plantings?
We haven't designed the trellis in detail, but the idea would there be some probably hanging plants throughout that.
All right, any questions from the member public? All right, back to Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I practiced my closing remarks this afternoon, and I timed it at 43 minutes. We appreciate the board and its professionals' consideration of this. We're excited for this major refresh of this important location within Parsippany. We're especially excited about this upscale grocer. We wish we could tell you who it is, but we're sworn to secrecy, at least for now. You'll know soon.
You can give us initials. No, I'm just kidding.
We hope that you agree with us. As we said, the relief that's needed in connection with tonight's application, we're reducing the impervious coverage. We're a little bit over the maximum under the ordinance, and there's an existing driveway location that does not meet the setback. So we don't really anticipate that to constitute a significant, substantial detriment. So with that, we ask respectfully for your approval.
yeah. Mr. Wolfson, could you just humor me here? You said your traffic engineer also has a planning hat.
Yeah, he does.
Would he be able to offer very brief planning testimony? And I say brief, almost as brief as your statement, just to say you meet the positive and negative criteria, just
Absolutely.
for the record.
I'm often accused of presenting planning testimony, and some of the planners I work with are accused of giving legal.
Yeah, I've been accused of writing like a lawyer, so I,
Okay. Do you swear affirm and tell truth for this planning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, and can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Certainly. It's Matthew Welch, W-E-L-C-H. I'm an associate with Langen Engineering, located just down the road at 300 Kimball Drive. My background, I received my Bachelor of Science in the field of Civil Engineering from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I'm a licensed engineer and a licensed planner in the state of New Jersey, as well as a certified professional traffic operations engineer. I've been practicing for over 20 years. I think this is my first time before this board. I've been before about over 50 boards, including East Hanover, Morris Plains, and a number of others.
You guys travel in packs from Langdon.
Asked to be accepted as an expert in the area of planning.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to be brief. My testimony will be shorter than my drive over here. So the site is in the AHD MU2 Affordable Housing Mixed Use Zone. There are a number of existing nonconformities which I don't think you need me to go through.
No,
So the
I think
two,
I think we cited them in our letter, and
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement on
yep,
this.
I reviewed them and I agree with them. So the two variances that are impacted by this project, one is maximum impervious coverage, 75% is permitted. Existing is 84.18%, proposed is 82.20%. So it's a reduction in impervious, so no negative impact there. Definitely an improvement, particularly with all the additional trees that are going on the property. The other variance is minimum distance of a driveway from a side lot line. A minimum of 5 feet is required. Existing, I know we state in our zoning table, it's 14.4 feet. It's actually, I'll restate for the record, approximately 8.2 feet, where 2.2 feet is proposed. So I'm referring to the site construction plans, sheet CS 101. This occurs in the rear of the property, on the southerly property line. If you go back there, it's all employee parking that backs up to that board-on-board fence right against the property line. As has been stated too, we have more than enough parking to support the site. So a number of those parking stalls are being removed to allow for a loading dock in the rear of the proposed grocer. It's helping to modernize the building, to bring in a new tenant, and again, utilize, it's really a reutilizing of existing impervious surface that frankly we don't need for parking, so we can use it to improve truck circulation. So there is that board-on-board fence that's staying, and will continue to provide screening between the shopping center and the surrounding residents. No increase in impervious coverage, so really no negative impact or impairment to the zone. And again, you know, all these improvements are allowing for this modernization of the shopping center and to bring in new tenants.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was that too long?
I wasn't timing it, that was just right.
Can I ask one question?
All right. Any questions from the board members?
You just raised a question that I forgot to ask earlier. There was comments about driving. I'm also the director of planning, zoning, and construction, and recently somebody called about not having enough driving distance behind. How much room, once the loading dock is installed, how much room will cars be able to drive? Will two cars coming from opposite directions still be able to pass each other, or will it be like a one-way afterwards?
So we're maintaining two-way circulation. We're shifting the double yellow to provide your conventional 12-foot drive lanes in each direction. And there's now about a little more than 2 feet of a buffer on the side there. So you have more than 24 feet, so certainly enough room for circulation.
Perfect, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, any questions from Board of Professionals?
So not about planning. I'm not going to ask about planning. I'll leave that to Ron. But about traffic. We heard testimony that the bays that are being re-tenanted are currently empty. In the report, in the traffic engineer report, it stated that there was going to be no significant impact on the adjacent roadways. So can you sort of provide a little bit of testimony on why there's going to be no impact, although there will clearly be more people expected at the site than there is currently?
Yeah, more people expect at the site, again, than there is now, and again, that's because of the vacancy. So, you know, trip generation is based on square footage, so the square footage of the site isn't changing, so the trip generation projections of the site aren't changing. Obviously, they're going to change based on what there are now because of the existing vacancies, but legally, the entire shopping center could be reoccupied back up to full capacity. So compared with that, compared with this project, no change in square footage, so no impact to traffic.
I do have a question. The loading dock that I'm seeing here, is it expected for 18-wheelers or a smaller box truck?
No, it's for 18-wheelers, for tractor trailers.
So where do you anticipate the only place that they can come to is at the top left as the entrance? Because I guess you would pull up straight that way and then back up to unload, correct?
Correct, and there is a circulation plan in the packet. It's sheet CP 101, and that's the exact way. The trucks would come in, pull in front, back into the loading dock, and then they'd recirculate in the westerly portion of the site to then exit, right? Because they can't make a U-turn to get back out.
But that would be the only entrance for the 18-wheeler?
That's the only way they can come back into the loading dock, correct?
Okay. Where would the exit be off of, through the, I guess it's not written, shown on here, but I'm trying to think, it would be to the right.
So on the truck circulation plan, they come in, they loop around the movie theater, and then they go back out.
Ah, okay.
The 202.
202. Right turn on 202?
No, no, it would be 202, no, it would be 46.
Why, so,
Yeah, I mean, or they could come in and go out. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of them would probably go in and go out 46. I know the plan shows it on 202, but I think 46. You get the 287 a lot quicker that way.
So there's nothing precluding you from going through to 46. They can go out either way.
Correct. There's adequate room throughout the shopping center.
All right. You have a question? Any
I'm
additional
just
questions?
thinking, 18-wheeler coming out on part of 202.
One thing I will say about traditional retail deliveries, typically they're done off-peak for efficiency, so usually middle of the day when the roads aren't as crowded. You know, obviously we know what these roads are like in the morning and evening peak hours, so for efficiency, typically deliveries occur, you know, middle of the day when the roads aren't as crowded.
Any additional questions from the board members?
Yeah, actually, I'm still a little confused. I'm looking at CS 100 to see exactly where the, CS 100 to see exactly where the exit would be for the turning radius for the 18-wheeler.
So it's CP 101
See,
has the truck circulation on it.
what number? Charlie P?
You have my copy.
My gosh.
You might need glasses, it's zoomed out a little bit.
Oh, it's all right, it's all right. Okay.
Well, the mayor looks, Lyra, did Kevin, did our traffic expert have any comments on the turning radius?
Not on the circulation plan that was provided. We did request additional plans showing other vehicles, but we had no objection to the plan that was provided, no comments.
I'm quite familiar with his comments. If he's concerned about turn radii, he will call it out, so.
Okay, it looks like the only entry and exit is 202 and not 46, based on,
We've shown on 202, again, I think we can show it on 46 too. We don't anticipate any
So you'll
concerns.
just modify it to?
Provide updates. We can provide updated plans with
Okay.
additional circulation.
well, despite the fact that it's not part of this application, when that apartment complex comes in, you're gonna have to change all this.
I imagine as part of the application, additional circulation plans will be included.
You know?
Items will probably. Right, so Mr. Wolfson, preaching the choir here, knows this, that, you know, if that other part of that movie theater part does undergo redevelopment, they will have to provide updated plans and deal with whatever approvals were given here, which may be in conflict with that one. They'll have to clear it out, and I'm sure our board professionals will keep an eye on it. I'm sure they're taking copious notes.
Absolutely.
We are.
All right. Any additional questions from the board members?
I do, I just wanna, I'm harping on this a little bit, just so I, you know, I see the entrance is from 202. It goes straight out.
Mayor, can you just, I know you're looking at a piece of paper, just so that the gentleman also knows which one you're looking at. Which number are you looking
CP 101,
at? Okay. CP 101.
Charlie Paul 101.
Yeah, so that one, it shows it making a right in,
Yeah,
pulling past the loading dock,
yep.
backing into the loading dock,
Now-
recirculating around the movie
I
theater.
know, but it's a circulation that I wanna walk through.
Okay.
CP 101. So it goes straight out, it looks like, around the movie theater,
Correct.
completely circling the movie theater, coming back straight out, going past the loading dock onto 202.
Correct.
Okay.
And making the left out to go back to Route 46.
And I'm gonna assume, but I'm gonna ask, the turning radius, I can see making a right turn would be fine, but making a left onto 202 I guess if you're coming in, it will be the same radius going out for the 18-wheeler.
Correct. And we show both. Typically, the right turn is more restrictive.
Okay.
One thing I will say, and a reason why lots of times the tractor trailer deliveries occur off-peak, is obviously they need a lot more room to turn compared to a passenger car. And, we don't want to build all of our driveways excessively wide. So you'll notice it does cross the double yellow a little bit on the swing. This
Okay.
is very typical of shopping centers. So really nothing out of the ordinary here. And, in my professional opinion, is, has served this site in the past and will continue to serve the site sufficiently.
Okay. The turning radius, or at least the input-output around the movie theater, you said you have another plan that you'll submit for Route 46 down here. So that would only be behind restaurant A and B on that road, correct?
Yeah, and the purpose of that would just to show the truck turns from Route 46.
Okay.
Question.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm a little concerned about the, while truck is there in that area, 18-wheeler, the emergency vehicles coming in and out if there is a need be.
Yeah, so when the truck is parked, it's going to be completely within the loading dock, so a 24-foot aisle will stay clear.
Right, so what if the truck is actually moving there, right? And, let's say it's coming back out or going to back onto a two, and there are cars behind it, and the emergency vehicle has to get in.
So if a truck is coming out, there's cars, so remember, while that truck is coming out, it's going to be in its own lane. So there'll be room for a, emergency vehicle to come in.
Yeah. So again, I'm not the expert on that particular thing. I don't know if the fire department has reviewed this and, yep.
Yeah, I believe we got a report. Didn't Ms. Wolfson, didn't you indicate that there was some?
I think I did.
Nor did we get something from the fire district?
Yeah, I couldn't find
No.
the letter here, in the packet.
No.
No, they didn't send.
Sewer environmental.
All right, well, we didn't get one from the fire.
There was a comment in the review memo that we should be working with the fire department on striping for the fire lanes, which we obviously will do.
I mean, that would be reviewed, and that would be part of code in order to, every development, regardless of what they're doing, has to meet standardized state building code and RSIS and whatever else they would have to do, regulations that are outside of us. But what you're saying in response to Mr. Deitch's question is that you do not believe, in your professional opinion, the placement of the loading dock presents any concern about emergency vehicles traversing the site.
That's correct.
Didn't you testify that you're removing some of the spots back there?
Correct, yeah, so there's a number of stalls in the rear that are assigned for employees only. So as part of that loading dock, the aisle is being shifted, which is necessitating the variance, and then those stalls are being removed. So actually, the minimum width, we have two 12-foot lanes and then about a minimum of 2.2 feet. So we have 26.2 feet is the pinch point. So again, certainly plenty of room to accommodate tractor trailers, emergency vehicles, etc.
I'm not even going to pretend to be a traffic engineer, but just from a layman's point of view, and I've heard enough of the testimonies. I mean, I know the operator's here, but we don't know who the tenant is. But in general, from your expertise as a traffic expert, do these deliveries occur during prime time, or does the operators of these facilities like to have it like off hours that, you wouldn't come in there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon with a...
Correct, yeah, the preference is off hours. Because again, it's a combination of the operator as well as the operators of the delivery vehicles. So with logistics, you don't want tractor trailers on there during
And the
peaks.
concern is very, it's very valid.
Yep.
You've got 18-wheelers, they're hard to get around. However, I would say maybe we just focus a little bit on when they're here. And in general, I'm not sure about the operations that are currently going on, but just again, from the countless applications I've heard, normally you just don't see them coming in at peak because they prefer not to have to compete with space with existing customers.
I agree.
Actually, on that,
Have you been to the site?
I have.
Are you aware of how steep that road is going up into the back?
I
from
am.
202?
Yep.
Do you, as a traffic engineer, foresee that there could be difficulty with that?
I don't foresee any issues. Again, just to be clear, this area takes deliveries today, right? There's
With
existing
18-wheelers,
loading
huh?
docks behind these buildings.
I'm not aware if they take it with 18-wheelers though. That's the concern.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
but, there's a number
I've
of
seen
loading
box
docks
trucks. I
today.
haven't seen 18-wheelers in the back. Quick question. On CP 101, you see where you have the truck drawn right in the middle with the wheels?
I think at 2 AM, it's not gonna be a problem.
You want to cheat and point?
Right here, this truck here?
Yeah, so we're talking,
No, actually, my question is, what is this line here? Is that a building structure?
so the question is, what is the area on the the southwest corner of the building? That's another loading dock.
That's a what?
Yeah, and it's just striping there.
No, I'm talking about not the striping.
Yeah. You're talking about the square that comes out?
Yeah,
I think that's a concrete pad, I believe. Actually, where's the,
Because I'm still trying to figure out.
yeah, that's a concrete pad.
It's just a concrete
It's
pad.
flush at grade.
It's flush, okay. I'm trying to figure out how the truck is gonna make exit on 46, based on, because it looks like you'll have to come around and make a left there to go straight down to 46.
We'll prepare the truck turns and provide them for your professional's review.
I have one thing. I just
like to add something. Matt didn't mention.
Reintroduce yourself for the record.
Brian Conlon, again, the project engineer, civil engineer. So talking about the 46 entrance, if you know this drive aisle here that leads out through the McDonald's to the driveway on 46, that's specifically 30-foot wide, bigger than the 24-foot drive lanes for the parking aisle. And you even see a little bit of a striping there at the modified curb line. That's for a tractor trailer to circulate the site if they do have to go out to Route 46.
I think he was mentioning one behind the restaurant. There's also another road behind the restaurants.
Coming in here?
Right there. Yeah, that one.
What's the question with that?
That's if you can utilize that for your 18-wheeler to go out. So one way in, one way out.
Yeah, I don't see any issue with that either.
Yeah, just
One last wild question.
Matthew Welch, back of the mic.
Yes. On paper, it looks great. Practically, if there is an issue with trucks getting in and out, extra difficulty backing in and out, going back and forth, where is the remediation at that point? Modifications to the site once everything is developed, once the traffic and stuff comes in?
So these are existing driveways that service the site today. So right now, we're proposing to leave them as they are.
True.
If there are issues when tenants come in, it's something that the tenant and the landlord are going to need to coordinate on, and they might need to come back in. But again, one thing I will say, the design vehicle that was utilized in this is the we call it the Title 39 vehicle. It's the largest tractor trailer permitted in New Jersey.
Yep.
Right? Not every delivery is going to be those large tractor trailers, but we like to design for that worst case scenario.
It sounds to me that you're very confident that there aren't going to be problems by virtue of this loading dock in the rear.
Correct.
Mr. Wolfson, you would agree as a condition of approval, if the board looked favorably on this, that one of the Langdon guys, there's multiple Langdon guys here, but one of the Langdon guys will provide updated traffic turning tables showing the 46 exit possibilities.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, we understand the concern and we want to address it.
And I think, just to clarify one more thing, I had it down, I forgot to ask Mr. Wilson, but I think you'd agree with me that it's a condition of approval that your team will work with board professionals about adding in those trees in that, I'm calling it the walkway area.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I had a follow-up on that same emergency vehicle thing. So I'm not as concerned when the truck is on the dock. That's probably okay. I'm more concerned behind the vacant area where the parking spots are today, and truck is trying to get out, right? Right there where your finger is, right? Truck is going to get out. There are cars parked. There are cars behind the truck, and an emergency vehicle trying to get in, right? I think I see it's a deadlock there. It's a jam there. Yeah.
So the As you'll see on CP 101.
Yep.
The truck utilizes the the hatched out fire striping to be able to back into it. So there's no conflicts with the parked vehicles when the truck is backing into the loading dock.
The truck is right there where the parking is. He's trying to get out. His truck is going back out.
Yeah,
Right.
so
After looping
if he
the-
pulls out,
Yep.
right? So again, we have two 12-foot lanes, so there's room for the fire truck to come around, just like in any other shopping center. I think the geometry that we're talking about is fairly typical of most commercial uses. No different than if it was a 2-lane roadway, and the same thing could happen, right? Fire truck comes down, you stay to the side, you let the fire truck behind you.
Yeah, but again, in reality, on those one of the parking spot, there could be a, big, I don't know, some big car or truck or type of things parked and truck is trying to get out and then there's no space to get in.
Again, I appreciate the concern. I think that is why we're removing as many parking stalls as we could.
Yeah, so no concerns in that area. I'm worried about where that about 10 parking spots are. Right there, yeah. Yep.
The parking stalls over there.
Yep.
The good news is that we're way over parked on this site, so once it's up and running operationally, if there's a problem, we can remove some more parking spaces.
And Mr. Walsh, I think you would also, well, let me ask Mr. Walsh, but I think that those spaces in the location that they are more than likely going to be employee spaces. So more than likely that those spaces are going to be easier to be controlled functionally by the tenant and the landlord if there is a need to be more flexible with that area. That's certainly not an area that anyone would expect customers to park in. So if it's for employees, they can tell the employees, look, we're not, you can't use these spaces anymore. So it's not an issue in terms of, that can't be resolved in sort of a field way.
So, but more than me getting convinced, I think I would like our fire department to, sign off on that. Yeah.
And one thing, and just to echo over the employee stalls, you have a lot less turnover on employee stalls than you do on patron stalls, visitor stalls, where they're coming in, they're picking up a sandwich and leaving, so.
And the updated turning tables will be reviewed by the fire department.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right.
I got you.
Thank you, yeah.
All right. Any questions from the member public? Nope. I think back to Mr. Wilson.
I already gave you my closing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. No need to.
We respectfully request an approval.
Motion?
Any other further comments from the board professionals before we take a motion?
All right. Any additional questions from member of the board or member from the board professionals at this time?
I do have one question, and I don't want to belabor anything any further, but you have a lighting plan here?
Yes.
There's a lighting plan in here. Can I ask a question about the lighting?
Of course.
I mean, well, it's all, and I'm not going to use the right terminology, but I hear a lot of people talking about, thank you, about the lighting. Is the light going to be facing down, or are we going to have a lot of big, bright, diffuse lighting, which is not popular these days?
Yep. Brian Conlon, back on the mic, is it on? Yes, there'll be cutoff fixtures, basically, which do shine down, yeah.
Okay, that was really all I was wondering.
So it'll be dark skies compliant.
And we will be also addressing all of our 5 or 6 lighting comments in the letter that we're going to comply with all of those as well.
Wonderful.
And Council, I think that there are lighting comments that express those concerns about the brightness of them. They've agreed to, that are professionals.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any comments or a motion?
Any comments?
Well, to help out council here, if we can go to page 11, just talking about variance relief, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I need you to take your voice up.
There's two.
How's that?
We talking about the 2 variances we just
Yeah, the 2
went over?
variances, because there are some items here, there are, just for the record, We did note 4 site plan checklist waivers, and we indicated as professionals, we had no objection to granting them, due to the nature of the application. It was about the scale. It's supposed to be just for instance, no more than 50 feet to 1 inch, and they did 1 to 60. So these are minimal items. We just wanted to put that on the record. Mr. Conlon, there's no accessory. Is there any accessory structures around?
So there is, so there is one building structure. I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a big generator to me. And I'll show you where.
I thought I saw it down by 202.
That's correct.
And I was trying to figure out the distance because it wasn't scaled.
And we did check that. There is a structure right here that's fenced in as you're coming in off of the 202 exit that we've been talking about here in the back. But it does meet these, it's an existing structure. We're not proposing it as part of this development, but we did look and it does meet the setback requirements.
Okay.
As you indicated on your table.
Yeah, so that is on the bottom of these may require, so the testimony has been that they comply with the accessory setbacks, so there's not a variance needed there. The maximum building height, it's just because it wasn't on your table. I know that there's nothing above 35 feet, I just wanted to go on the record.
29 feet?
Yeah. So if you could just clarify that on your zoning table, yeah. And that's part of our comment. And we've already gone over, it looks like, in Lear, it looks like the Gremlins struck again on this, they dropped our numbering on page 12. But the parking space requirement comment was based more on shopping centers. We've clarified that it's by use, so that's not applicable. And then we just had 5 comments about, and that we all agreed on as variances previously approved. And just going over my planning comments, they did the testimony on item 1. About the positive and negative criteria. On page 12, there's a comment 1. They've addressed via testimony. They've addressed item 2 of the planning comments because we talked about confirming compliance with all items listed as potential variances. That's about it. They've agreed with item 3 and 4, as Mr. Wolfson said, so I just wanted to go over those testimony ones, just so there's no gray area. They addressed it, and now I turn it over to my colleague if there's any testimony thing in their comments that they haven't addressed.
I think I only have one. Any letters of interest or approvals by other jurisdictions? I know we talked a lot about circulation on the 46 and 202. Was there any submission made to the DOT?
Yeah, for all the ones listed in the letter, all pending, yes, we will, and we'll forward them upon receipt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take a motion.
All right, we'll proceed to take a motion.
Mr. Chairman.
List of, amendments and compliance items?
Will do. Let's, if you take a motion in a second, I'll give you the list.
Oh, okay. All right. So motion to approve application 25:521, Fixmore 3081 Route 46, block 411, lot 31.1, zone B-1, preliminary and final major site plan for parking improvements, landscaped islands, and interior changes, as per listed conditions.
Second, Dinsmore.
Okay, and with regard to that motion, I'm sure the mover and seconder would agree with me that to amend their motion to include conditions of approval for working with board professionals with regard to the extra trees in the walkway area, turning table updates, which will also be shared with the fire department. You've already indicated that you will comply with the board professionals review letter, and will continue to interface with them, and you'll also provide any updated communications between your applicant and the state or the county with regard to roadway access. Agreed?
Absolutely.
I knew you would. Okay, take a roll.
Roll call,
All right.
Desai,
Yes.
Deech,
Yes.
Dinsmore.
Yes.
Hernandez. Yes. Patel.
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to coming back again soon.
All right, thank you.
I always like telling Peter to get out of here. Okay.
Is it motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
I think from here forward, I think everybody.
Not too bad, eh?
Just got to make sure that
He is not.
he is not John Van Aken.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. I realized it at the end. I said, oh, no.
Vice Chairman. Yeah, don't give him big head. I don't want it. And if you learn.
Recommendation of the council is that we apply.
I would like to do that. There's a lot of.
Well, I don't see where there's any.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks very much.
I don't see any.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry for the company, so the letter, but.
Somewhat.
It's also commonly called, try to make it a